Good morning, world. It is the Tuesday after the great American solar eclipse. And this weekend kind of reminds me of a Rolling Stone song.
Here I go, playing the star again. There I go, turn the page.
I started off the weekend with my mom and son hike up Pinnacle. But this week's guest spot was my buddy Josh, who was in town from New York, and he brought his mom. And that wound up being really cool, to have like a little mom and son double date. This time was a little different. The moms bonded right away. You know, Josh and I just went ahead and ran up to the top, and I did yoga. Josh isn't as much into yoga, but he does like to film and shoot photos, and so he's got his angle, and I have mine. So I went to doing my thing, and he went to doing his thing, and we collaborated on that. And so Friday, I met up with Laura and Lisa to plan our solar eclipse trip. And what I was hoping for the solar eclipse was community. You know, I wanted to go someplace. I really wanted to do yoga during the solar eclipse, was what I really wanted to do, and I was hoping that there would be some kind of outdoor yoga thing that someone would have organized. You know, I'm not in Nashville, so it's a little harder for me. But I was planning to take two of my yoga friends, one of my yoga teachers, in fact. So we go out and start planning our trip. Now, originally I tried to connect it. I like to just squeeze as much as I can out of everything, and sometimes I wind up with nothing because of that. So Joe and I, another yoga friend of mine, went floating on the Big Piney. And this is my only camera, so we aren't able to film the big rapids, but it's been pretty gnarly. It was supposed to be big, you know. Or I didn't know what to expect, I guess.
Baby rapids. That's the only time I'm comfortable breaking the camera out.
But when we got there, it was pretty big. But it wasn't unmanageable. I actually wore my life jacket this time, and I tried to do a little bit better about being cautious, being careful. Careful. I'm not very careful. I'm sometimes cautious. I can see danger and be aware of danger, but I don't always give danger its due. This time I feel like I did a better job of that. And, you know, Joe's example helps to do that. He does wear a life jacket. He brought a life jacket for me. You know, I don't have a life jacket. I borrowed his boat. Now, I didn't have a GoPro to film this, so there's not a lot of... You don't get a good... I'm not sure that I have the video to really express the excitement of riding the rapids, because the only things I filmed were us just kind of in between the rapids. Thanks, Joe, for an awesome time on the Big Piney.
That was awesome.
I came home after our float trip and passed out. I was just going. I stayed up later than I had expected to Friday night. I hiked Pinnacle Friday morning, and then, you know, did 11 miles on the Piney in big water Saturday morning. So I took a nap. I was just done. And then it took me a little while to rally, and I didn't even get... It was Saturday before I even finished editing Thrashin' Thursday. And so I did that before going out again Saturday night to meet up with some friends for karaoke.
It was fun. I made it look fun. I smelled like donkey a little bit, but I had to change my clothes.
I tried not to stay out too late that night, but again, wound up staying out too late. And Sunday was departure for Nashville to go on our solar eclipse trip. We are packing up for our trip to Nashville for the eclipse. And what strikes me is, you know, in the past, I always pack stuff, and it's skateboards that we're putting in. You know, that's the one tie that everyone has together on the trip is a skateboard. On this trip, it's yoga mats. I love it. And it's fun to see that shift, you know, to let go enough. I say that and I still brought my skateboard, but I don't think I'll ever let go of that. To find a new path, you know, that is indicative of my new path, my new direction. Yoga is the direction I'm headed. And so we kind of departed for Nashville with no real plan. I had a buddy there, the guy who owned the shop in Nashville that I was taking boards to. I enjoyed that. I feel kinship to anyone that wants to support skateboarding. That's been my passion forever, and I can see that that's what he's trying to do, you know? Owning a skate shop isn't a lucrative business. So anyone that does it, typically, unless you're zoomies, they're doing it for something, you know, maybe a little more selfless. You know, they're doing it for something bigger than themselves. And I want to support that.
I do a lot of work for bigger roofing companies when they get into stuff that's not really their forte, I guess.
And then we went to Laura's friend Allison's house, and Allison's husband cooked us an awesome dinner. I mean, we sat there and fellowshipped and got to know each other as he's preparing this feast.
And this is the least of his productions.
It's amazing how things just happen. If you let go and you let them happen, you know, you'll find yourself where you need to be. And we still didn't know where we were going to watch the eclipse. We had talked about going to someplace out in nature, and then we had talked about going to a cemetery, which I thought would be cool.